Good afternoon. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing as PJ Fiegel plays the Star Spangled Banner.
What a glorious day for a graduation ceremony. I am honored to welcome the graduates, families, and friends, Mrs. Fenton, the school committee chairperson, school committee members, Mrs. Furkowski, Dr. Ames, Mr. Pugh, teachers and staff to this graduation ceremony for the class of 2023. Commencement is a beginning, not an end. The poet Mary Oliver asks in one of her poems, "Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one and wild, precious life?" A year ago, June, my family and I sold our home and our vehicles. We put our belongings into storage, bought a sailboat, and moved aboard. My wife, daughter, one of her friends, our dog, and I set out for a year-long sailing adventure. I've identified 7 life lessons from the trip to share with you. Lesson 1, things won't always go as planned. We spent the first week in a protected bay getting used to and learning how to sail our boat. We wanted to become comfortable with the boat before heading out into the ocean. The day that we were set to head out from the bay, we got up just before dawn, brought the boat to the public dock so that we could walk our dog and empty our trash before heading out to sea. My wife, Diane, stepping onto the dock, broke her leg. No sailing for her for the next 5 months. What's the message? Things will happen that are simply out of your control. Time spent crying over spilt milk is unproductive. Good can be found in bad situations. Diane got to spend 5 months with her aging mother, and my daughter and her friend gained confidence by stepping up and quickly taking on navigation and seamanship tasks. Lesson 2, we all make mistakes. It's part of the human condition. Mistakes are often how we learn life's lessons. The real problem arises when we don't learn from our mistakes. If we don't heed those lessons, we resign ourselves to repeat the past. Luckily, the worst mistake for us resulted in a soft grounding in mud and having to wait for the tide to return. But what's the message? Be defined not by your mistakes, rather by what you do next. Take responsibility for your actions, make things right, and learn how to avoid making the same mistake again. Lesson 3, serendipity, the occurrence and development of events by chance in a happy or beneficial way. It is real. Serendipitous event after serendipitous event occurred during our time aboard the boat. Some people call these happy accidents. My friend, who thru-hiked the Appalachian Trail, told me that the hikers refer to this phenomenon as trail magic. Just when someone was discouraged, overheated, too pooped to go on, something would happen to change their situation or their outlook. We experienced the same thing during our sailing trip, time and time again. What's the message? Be open to trail magic. It happens with greater frequency than you may think. Lesson 4. The vast majority of people you encounter are decent. A mechanic repaired our carburetor and refused to take payment. A dockmaster threw in an extra day at the dock. Multiple people offered us rides while we were lugging our groceries back to the boat. What's the message? Don't allow the dirty scoundrels to jaundice your outlook of all humanity. People's generosity and willingness to lend a hand may surprise you. Lesson 5. Robert Frost's famous poem speaks of the difference taking the path less traveled by can have in one's life. In hindsight, the best places we visited were not the ones that everyone was flocking to. At the end of our trip, I asked the girls, what was your favorite place that we had visited? I expected to hear Washington, D.C., Charleston, Savannah, Key West. Instead, they picked a tiny, uninhabited out island in the Bahamas. Some of our favorite spots were well off the beaten track. What's the message? I encourage you to occasionally zig when everyone else zags. Certainly, make it a point to visit famous and popular tourist sites, but also make it a point to discover what lies just beyond. Maybe visit the locals' favorite restaurant, or simply get off the interstate and take the back road for part of your journey. I guarantee that this is where you will discover some of your best and most memorable experiences. Lesson 6, perseverance, grit, stick-to-itiveness, don't give up. Because for much of our time afloat, we were required to be self-sufficient. We had to find our own solutions to problems that if we were on land, likely we would have given up and turned over to someone else, or at least looked up a fix on YouTube. Without those resources at hand, we had to figure things out for ourselves. Most of the time, if we stuck to it, we were rewarded with finding solutions. The best learning takes place in what, in educational parlance, referred to as productive struggle. It's the spot where we are challenged, but not challenged beyond our point of frustration. So what's the message? Be persistent enough to persevere. Welcome the productive struggle as a learning opportunity. Solve difficult problems and self-reliance. It's a wonderful feeling. Lesson 7. The best things in life aren't things. Trite, I know, but the older I get, the more I realize that relationships, experiences, and memories are priceless. I made it a point to recognize what a gift it was to be able to spend a gap year afloat with my daughter before she heads off to college. What's the message? It's simple. Value people over stuff. Particularly, make it a point to surround yourself with those people who genuinely care about your well-being. Bonus lesson. All good things come to an end. What's the message? Cherish the time spent with friends and family. Cherish this moment right now. So in conclusion, I pose this question to you again. Tell me, what is it that you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? I'd like to invite Jack O'Brien, the salutatorian, up to the podium.
Good afternoon. Before I begin, I would like to thank the superintendent, school committee members, administration, faculty, staff, family, and friends for getting us to where we are today and joining us at today's ceremony. I have never been a fan of fire drills. For those of you who know me, this might come as a surprise given the fact that my uncle is the fire chief. Although I see the point of them completely, I was not the one who felt excitement or relief to miss half a class period standing around in the parking lot, watching teachers scramble to take attendance and make sure no one wandered off with their friends. One might expect a graduation speech to talk about sad endings and new beginnings and inevitable change, so you might be asking yourself, why on earth am I talking to you about fire drills? Well, just over 2 weeks ago, we had a fire drill on the class of 2023's very last normal day of high school. I couldn't help but interpret this fire drill symbolically given the many lasts that all of us were processing on that day. And it got me thinking, high school, in fact, is a drill for the real world. I'm not saying that life is a long emergency, but it is unpredictable and full of unknowns. And high school helped make those unknowns a little less unknown. When we first hear the high-pitched chirp of the rectangular red alarm on the wall, we've come to automatically know what to do. Following instructions is critical in a fire drill and also crucial for learning. We've been doing it since the beginning, during our days at Morris when we were taught to read with foundations and hoping to be the line caboose on the way to recess. In middle school, we followed more instructions. We looked at images of the ancient wonders of the world, which then informed us on how to craft our own ancient Egyptian pyramids. In high school, the instructions have become more and more embedded in our learning. We listened to lectures about the Roaring Twenties and verb conjugation and the quadratic formula, and much of what we have learned has become ingrained in our heads. Just like how fire drills happen regularly, high school asks you to do things over and over again. You move through the days, weeks, and years in a very structured way. It may seem monotonous at times, but it has a purpose. Think about the first research paper, the first unit test, the first lab. Things that we didn't know how to do at the beginning have become easier and easier through our constant practice. But high school is not only about following instructions and practicing. In the event of a fire, we're meant to stay calm and orderly, focused and able to depend on those around us. We are all different, yet everyone behind me is able to turn to their left and right and see people that they know they can count on. This trust was built in different ways for everyone. It could have developed as early as middle school, when you watch someone jump out of their comfort zone at a dance and spontaneously break dance on the floor of the cafeteria. Or as recently as last Monday, on our class trip, when you asked the person next to you if you could borrow their towel after you took the frigid plunge into the Atlantic. It could have been built at soccer games or performances or pep rallies, where we cheer for each other in successes and support each other through disappointments. But even if everyone follows instructions and relies on each other, another important point of having a drill is to expose weaknesses in the system to be even better prepared. In high school, weaknesses in the system have led us to adapt and grow. Our class in particular has had to do a fair share of adapting during our time at Lenox. We've faced a global pandemic, a sinking school building, an asbestos remediation, and a number of administrators that exceeds the amount that I can count on one hand. But clearly, things have not always gone as planned. But the modifications made have taught us something about how to adjust, how to make things better, and how to be better in the future. Class of 2023, our time in the concrete building on East Street has come to a close. We will never again sit in the cafeteria and talk about looming assignments, or play intense 9 square in gym class, or stare at the clock waiting for it to strike 2:24. The drill is over, and this time we will not be heading back inside. We are ready for what lies ahead. Thank you.
On this auspicious day, fellow graduates, esteemed faculty and administration, and all of you who came out to celebrate someone you care about, I'm here to talk to you all about the boron staircase. For those of you that didn't take AP Chemistry, on the periodic table, the boron staircase separates the metals from the non-metals. However, I won't be talking about the metals that make up this microphone, rather, metals that we strive to win. Metals that symbolize success, achievement. Like the boron staircase, some of us categorize our lives into those times filled with metals or non-metals, successes, and areas where we fall short. I used to have a very traditional view of metal and non-metal living. To metal, I would need to get excellent grades in school, excel at any sport that I tried, and eventually go to a very competitive college. Success for me meant achievement, but now I'm coming to understand that there is a lot more to success than achievement. Thanks to years with my classmates and teachers at Lenox, I've come to realize that I've gained a multidimensional view of success. I've learned it's more than just about metals and non-metals. It's about moments. The wasp is dead. Applause and cheering from our 8th grade math class was cacophonous. Devin celebrated as the wasp lay on the window, defeated after a decisive smack with the workbook. That's success. It's about music, like Chechi performing their original songs at the NHS induction, and later for you all today. That's success. It's about making things, like Medea's pinball machine, or Toma's Bauhaus-inspired chair. That's success. It's about being mesmerized, like Eli, seeking everything and anything there is to know about every country, everywhere, especially the stands. That's success. It's about moxie, like standing up for something you believe in, even if it means fundamentally disagreeing with the administration about, quote unquote, being absent. That's success. It's about miles. Runners, you know who you are. That's success. It's even about motors, as Jeffrey and JC Polishing have taught us all. And it could even be about missteps. 11 days ago, I sprained my ankle during my final warm-up, just minutes before lining up to run the All-State Meet of Champions, my pinnacle 2-mile race against the best in the state, my very last race of high school. I knew I would not forgive myself if I scratched my last race, so I made the difficult decision to limp to the starting line and run it anyway. There was no fairy tale. I did not officially medal, run a personal best, or experience any superhuman transformation. I could not walk off the infield at race's end. It hurt. There were real consequences. Choosing to run it anyway made my ankle worse and the race awful, and it was still meaningful to me. That, too, was a success. In all these cases, it's about meaning. That's the real success, the real medal. Through all of this, I came to realize that the many passions that we all pursue are crucial to the class of 2023, influencing our complex world in diverse ways. The challenges of the present and future world are complicated. We will need everyone's creativity and originality to make our impact. Most individuals who had a world-changing idea were initially mocked or ridiculed, or at least raised a lot of suspicions. Let's all take this risk. What's meaningful to you defines your success, what your medals are. Work towards your definition and start to recognize and honor that those around you are after different medals. We need to each build our own boron staircases, basing our medals and non-medals on what matters to us in our lives. Taking the same staircase can only lead to so many rooms, and taking someone else's will never get you where you need to be. Go back down and find your own. Some of our staircases may be a straight shot up, or others windy, twisting and turning, or even one that leads to a huge beach house where Alex Del Vecchio thinks we should have our reunion. All three are beautiful. We may not be exactly sure of what our staircase is or where it leads. That's okay. Let's commit to that adventure. Climbing our own staircases, built on what matters to us, will profoundly enhance the world that we will enter very soon. As we each move forward and pursue our individual successes, I hope that we will remember our LMMHS community, in which many of us were able to spark or foster this uniqueness. I hope we will look back on this time as one of both transformation and inspiration. I also look forward to our first high school reunion, where hopefully all of us will be taking the stairs together.
Good afternoon. Thank you, parents, family members, friends, faculty, and staff, for being here today to celebrate Lenox Memorial's graduating class of 2023. It has been an honor to be your class president these past years, despite the endless pestering to get all of your class dues, especially those of you who conveniently forget each time. It has brought me so much joy to be able to bring our class together. Our events may not always go as planned, but I'm grateful to you all for making the most out of everything that we do. Today we celebrate the culmination of years of hard work, sacrifice, and dedication. As we gather here, filled with a mix of nostalgia and excitement, let us take a moment to reflect on the journey that has brought us here. When we first embarked on this journey together, we were all just naive little kids with a shared dream of growing up and graduating high school. Finally, after surviving the most unforgettable and unexpected obstacles, we made it. From kicking field goals in Mr. Latimer's class to learning about Dr. Stranko's strange fear of bananas, we have all grown up to be amazing individuals. I'll be the first to admit that graduating high school was the top thing that I was looking forward to during my high school career. But I would have given anything to have had a nap time or recess in my junior and senior years. Instead, this past year has been filled with the lasts for the class of 2023. The last prom, the last soccer game, the last play, the last snowball fight in the school parking lot, and the last time we will ever walk the halls of Lenox Memorial as high schoolers. However, I think most of us can agree that the last attention or research paper will not be missed. Although this year may be filled with all the last events of high school, we enter a new phase of our lives as changed people. We are now high school graduates who will move on to do amazing things. We will experience so many firsts after this, whether it be your first semester of college or trade school, or your first full-time job. We all have something new to prepare for. Our time at Lenox has provided each of us with life skills and so much knowledge. I hope that each of you attain all that you strive for in life, because I know that you are all more than capable. I wish you all a life full of success and happiness.
If I could go back to a time before now, before you left town, be wrapped around me, and no good thing could take it away if I still believe that hearts don't lie, gonna be just fine. But the Lord's gonna change your lifetime. Try to leave it all behind. In no one can keep you down. If your friends and family sadly stick around, it's high time to get by. 'Cause you got what it takes. Try to leave it all behind. In Let me change my words, show me where
About 13 years ago, 2,340 days, or 56,160 hours of our lives, we began to dedicate ourselves to our school career. We always lived our lives going forward, one more day, one more class, one more hour, one more minute. Now looking back, we don't have one more minute, one more hour, one more class, or one more day. We are always just rushing for time to be over. We spent our whole lives pursuing the milestone of class of 2023. When our junior year came to an end, we all said, 1 year left, we can't wait to be done. As seniors, we had 1 year left, then 1 semester left, then 1 month, then 1 week, and then just 1 day. We will no longer be able to step foot in high school again. We all go our separate ways today and leave our tracks behind. Nobody ever realized that we would soon want that extra minute to laugh with friends and hang out. Just 1 more minute to be a high schooler again and not on our own. When I was entering freshman year, everyone told me my high school career would go by like a blink of an eye. I never really believed them, but here I am now reading my graduation speech. I was excited going into freshman year, excited for my first homecoming, first final exams, first everything. Then suddenly that all changed.
COVID hit. We didn't see each other or go anywhere for a while. We then entered our sophomore year, yet still online. About halfway through the year, we transitioned to hybrid learning. Some kids were able to come in for half the day and learned in person, but others stayed remote. We were told, keep your distance and keep your mask up. Junior year finally came. It was all in person, but again with the constant mask wearing. Not much later, the mask became no longer mandatory, and that's when things started to feel a little bit more normal. Now here we are at graduation with most of our lives planned ahead, some going away to college and others going off to their jobs. All the stressful college applications and their deadlines are gone. No more of the stress trying to write the perfect college essays. I do want to take one extra minute to thank everyone, all the teachers who have helped all of us get here. I wish I could take one more minute to experience high school again, take one extra minute to talk to our favorite teachers, peers, and others, but our time is up and it's time for us to move on. To the rest of my peers, as you walk across the stage, take that extra minute to appreciate what your future is about to bring. One more minute can make all the difference. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here. I remember one day in 5th grade, my mother picked me up from Morris in her silver minivan. Tears welled in my eyes, and my pudgy 10-year-old fists were balled up the tightest they'd ever been. I sat down in the back of my mother's car, sobbing. "What's the matter, honey?" she asked. Through hot tears, I managed to shout. Sydney Wilk and Ava Reinhold said Beyoncé was a worse singer than Rihanna. I loved Beyoncé in the 5th grade. I still love Beyoncé, of course, but in the 5th grade, I really, really loved Beyoncé. An attack on Beyoncé felt like an attack on me. I was truly devastated by the comment. In 5th grade, Beyoncé was my entire perspective. I'm still the same person that I was back then, just with a different perspective. In my time as a student and community member in Lenox, I've had to learn how making room for everyone's perspective and experience is essential to creating successful community. It wasn't until I learned that I am trans-feminine and started taking feminizing hormones that I began to realize what it actually means to put yourself into somebody else's shoes. Understanding the perspective of those around you helps you learn so much more about yourself. During my senior year, I've made plenty of mistakes. I failed to acknowledge the perspective of peers, and that hurt people. With honest work and tough conversations, I've been able to learn from those with whom I've not been able to see eye to eye. It's not simple or easy to shift perspective, but the broader social horizons gained from doing so are priceless. I now encourage you all to look to the person to the left of you and the person to the right. Both of these people possess incredibly rich, beautiful, and unique experiences that make them the person they are today. Under these positive moments, however, are also negative experiences or some darkness that they have had to navigate. Now ask yourself, what makes you, you? What makes you have your signature flair? Why are you the way that you are? For me, Beyoncé's album Renaissance is the way I am. For Dennis Love, it's sports. For Tegan Demler, it's art. For Max Adam, it's books, or a combination. But the true essence of what makes you you is not necessarily found in yourself, but also in people around you. Others' experiences shape the way you live, similar to how your own experiences shape the way you live. We have all been molded by society to be the people as whom we present. Our community, tightly knit and resilient, has been challenged in multiple ways over the years, whether it be implicit bias, outright hate, or just another nor'easter. We have always found a way to stick together. As we move forward into bigger, better, and brighter futures, we will be able to maintain the same resilience in our lives. As long as we continue to express empathy, question our prejudice, and learn from our mistakes and the perspectives of others, we can bring with us the sense of community Lenox has instilled in us since day one. Our community still has a significant amount of work to do to become completely accepting, diverse, and gracious. However, with labors of love, passion, and strong morals, Lenox will surely become a positive space for all students, families, and faculty alike. Happy Pride Month, everyone, and thank you so much.
Good afternoon to all. First, I would like to thank everyone that has made an impact on getting us to this moment in our lives. We could not have done it without the support of the amazing faculty and staff members. I would like to personally thank my family for the endless support they have given me. You all have truly helped shape me into the person that I am today. 2023. For so long, it was just a number we would see and a number we would talk about, but most importantly, the number that represented us. But now, it's real life. As a little girl, I always dreamt of growing up. I wore my mother's makeup and began styling my own outfits in the 4th grade. And God, I wish somebody had stopped me. Soon along the way, I walked through the doors of Lenox Memorial Middle and High School for the first time. I then realized I was the baby now, and not that big kid at Morris Elementary. I wasn't allowed to try out for the junior varsity sports teams or a 10-second lunch like the older kids were, and therefore, I could not wait for the years to come. It took time, but eventually, I became a part of the teams and felt like I was a part of the school community. I can still remember the first high school point I scored on the basketball court and attending my first pep rally in the gym. Soon enough, the days of us all being middle school were coming to an end. No more lockers or carrying your binders through the halls. And now, there was only one thing on all of our minds: high school. The crazy years from the movies we all grew up watching together, and most importantly, the moments that we would experience together. Looking forward for the first of varsity games, the first time stepping onto the stage as a character in the high school play, the crushes we all whispered about that eventually turned to relationships, our first homecomings, and our first prom. We, class of 2023, stood together excitedly and entered our freshman year. It started off as just being able to wear our backpacks around the halls, and then quickly enough, we weren't driving with our parents anymore, but instead with our friends. To grow up is what we all wanted. For so long, we followed a script day to day, but now we have the ability to write our own stories. I guess the point is, don't always wish for what's ahead. It makes it very easy to lose track of where you are. And don't take anything for granted. The people next to you in class that you may not talk to a lot, even that one game you played badly in, or just simply eating lunch with your classmates. Because trust me, I sure did. There are so many moments you take for granted, especially when you think you have so many more. But in reality, there aren't so many more. Soon, all of your firsts will eventually become lasts. The hellos in the hallways will become one final goodbye. All of those moments you were chasing for are now only memories to smile and look back on now. Over these past 12 years, whether we realize it or not, we are family. Each and every one of you was a part of our story. Through it all, we made it. So here's to new beginnings, new people, new places, and new paths to walk down. I'm so excited to see what the future will hold for each and every one of you and where all of your unique and special qualities will take you. The year has finally come, and the class of 2023 is now officially signing off. Thank you.
Chairperson of the Lenox School Committee, Veronica Fenton. Superintendent of Schools, Dr. William Collins. As principal of Lenox Memorial High School, I certify that these seniors have met all the requirements set forth by the Lenox Public Schools and Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And now let's give them some diplomas, shall we? Maya Ann Terry. Alexis Elizabeth Ahern. Rihanna Bella Patel. Georgia Lane Razor. Ava Madeline Bachman. Ella Grace Lyon. Aaliyah Jean Height. Gianna Olivia Vasta. Haley Elizabeth Tobler. Andrea Marie Fox. Martha Patricia Galicia. Karina Ann Baver. Jesse Noel Scrimo. Ada Whitcomb Nichols. Allison Eliana Lamb. Ava Montague Reinhold. Kelly Rose Nicotra. Alexandra Catherine Lipton. Medea Terese Rodzinskaita. Jasmine Marie Gallagher. Fernando Reyes. Nicholas Adam Gouchard. Peter James Fiegel. Jeffrey William Clifford, Jr. Spencer Richard Turner. Brendan Shane Armstrong. Jay Jatendra Patel. Uriah Mejia Hernandez. Brittany L. Martin. Mackenzie Danielle Jordan. Liam Jack Doherty. Ava Kenyon Garlington. Ella Starr Kelly. Frankie Paige Elizabeth Guacchione. Tegan Maureen Demler. Sydney Pamela Wilk. Paige Jocelyn DeGrigley. Talia Marie Giardina. Luke Joseph Kaminsky. Chachilia Bengert Carey. Noah Jacob Kirby. Thomas Pierre Romeo Leger. Gabe Ishmael Marino. Devin Vivek Patel. Samuel River Joyce. Michael Francis Butler. Clifford Henry Flynn. Andrew Quinn McCormick. Emmett Joseph Shove. Brady Alexander Mickle. Alex Bernard Del Vecchio. Carter Armand Robert. Alec Mohammed Zabian. Alexander Blake. Arthur Wharton Schwartz. Hunter Biddle Landing. Mitchell Scott Arsenault. Maxwell Robert Adam. Jack Keegan O'Brien. Dennis Peter Love. Eli Zachary Sekon Okoga. Anthony Scott Basta. Owen Patrick O'Brien Garvey. And now, as principal of Lenox Memorial High School, by the power vested in me, I hereby declare the class of 2023 to be graduates of Lenox Memorial High School.